This boy and girl are going to be well equipped when the time comes to take their places as worthy members of adult society.
Aloha, y'all. This is Daniel Eisenman, the host of the Breaking Normal podcast, where my guests are all invited based on the frequency of synchronicity, all done in person, and all trailblazers in the breaking of all things normal. I'm ready as I will ever be to do this next Breaking Normal podcast with Tim O'Donnell. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Firstly, this is our first time meeting, which
Yep.
I'm stoked about. I usually have some weird synchronicity of going way back of how I'm interviewing the person across from me. But today, this is our first time actually meeting in person somehow, because you live here in Boulder, correct?
Yep. Been here for 17 years.
Wow. Which part of Boulder do you live in?
I'm up in North Boulder.
Okay.
Best access to trails and last stoplight on my bike to get out of town.
So
Perfect spot for endurance athlete.
Yeah, that's what for one thing I understand you're well known for. Are you competing mostly in Ironmans or triathlons?
Yep, I focused on the Ironman distance triathlon. I am now retired at 45. It was getting harder to keep up with the younger guys for sure, and it was a great career. So, yeah, now we're just fitnessing for life.
That could be a great title for this episode, and for like a book or something.
Yeah, I was just thinking for a book. I need to write a book, so that might be it.
Fitnessing for life.
Yeah.
This was the topic of my last episode. Dr. Sam Shea was asking me about my fitness.
Yeah.
And I told him how for me it's really about functional and emphasis on the fun.
Yeah.
And I was kind of making a joke about how some people focus on getting so strong in one area it hurts the rest of their potential for being able to do things like surf or play with their children.
Yeah. Yep.
So I told him that's my goal, is to be able to play with my children as hard as I can, as long as I can.
No, and I think endurance athletes are, a great example of that, because they're so used to just going in one direction, right? And when I started working with Erin Carson, who's a well-known strength coach here in Boulder, she really got me doing some lateral movement and things like that. And that's what it's not about racing anymore for me. My goal is I have 3 little kids, and the boys have bunk beds, and I want to be able to gorilla press the boys for as long as I can up into that top bunk,
I'm actually curious. I know that's a beautiful sentiment, but now I am curious of the details of that. What do you mean gorilla press?
Just press them up and then throw them in
both
there.
At the same
they
time?
call it the elevator. Yeah.
So you're doing both.
Oh no, one at a time.
One at a time. Okay. So they're laying.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Ultimate Warrior.
Yep. I know. I have an 8-year-old daughter, so I'm kind of for instance, I can do a pull up with her on my back right now. How long can I do that for?
Yeah.
How old are your children?
8. My oldest is daughter 8, and then the boys are 5 and 2.
Wow. So when's your 8-year-old's birthday?
It is August 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Davina's is April 7th.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we have a lot to talk about. Fitnessing for life, and you retired.
Yep.
How long were you competing for?
I competed professionally for over 20 years, about 20 years.
Wow. In this specific niche of Ironman distance triathlon?
So for the audience that's not familiar with triathlon, broadly speaking, a triathlon is a swim, bike, run race in that order. And then the Ironman distance is a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike, and then you finish it up with a marathon at the end. So 26.2 mile run.
Wow.
But I started in college. I went to the Naval Academy. That's where I found triathlon through my older brother, Thomas. We all grew up swimming. Thomas was a senior my freshman year at the academy.
Okay.
And he didn't make the swim team. He tried to walk on, got cut.
Okay.
So he found triathlon. And then I went, was recruited to swim, was on the swim team. And he gave me an order. He's to go try out for the tri team. And he literally came in my room when I was a freshman. And if you're a plebe at one of the academies, the upper class tell you to do something, you do it.
Okay.
So he comes in, he's like, "You're going to try for the tri team." I'm like, "No, I'm a swimmer. You remember you used to be a swimmer?"
Yeah. Wow.
And
how many siblings did you grow up with?
4. I'm the youngest of 4.
I'm the oldest of 4. What's the male, female?
4.5 years between all of us.
Okay.
And my sister, and then 2 brothers. So
ours is a flip flop. So 3 boys. The youngest is a sister,
and
about 3.5 years apart.
Oh wow. For all 4?
Yep.
twins in there?
No, they're all 3.5 years apart. So Daniel,
3.5 years apart.
Yeah.
No, all four of us are within 4.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is kind of similar in a way. And I was the oldest, and my youngest brother, Nathaniel, and I have a theory about this, and it's not, I don't think it's my theory, but it seems like when you grow up, like for instance, Nathaniel now has 4 boys.
Okay.
He has 4 boys that are like under 7.
I love it.
That, first of all, the third boy right now looks like he's going to maybe be a professional athlete because he's always chasing down these 2. He's always like slightly behind. He's always getting pushed the hardest.
It's so true. I really think there's something to that because, I was the youngest, I was the smallest until I'm the tallest now.
And same with Nathaniel, my youngest. He's the tallest.
But growing up, I was the worst athlete. My brother and my dad, no one threw punches. Like if we were playing 2-on-2, my dad and my brothers, my dad was if we were gonna win, it was gonna be because I was playing hard. Like he wasn't just gonna dominate the post.
Yeah. Wow.
So I think that's a huge part of. It toughens you up, right? Like you have to take your licks and you got to keep coming back, and then it gives you someone to not only mentor off of, but to chase. I mean, Thomas, that older brother I talked about, I did everything he did, and my goal was always to do it a little bit better. And I remember my freshman year, go back to high school. I broke out my freshman year of high school swimming, and he was leading the lane for this set. It was a hard set, like 12 by 300 yards on a really tight interval. And I passed him because he started missing the interval.
Wow.
And I just started trash talking. And then he just started, beating the crap out of me and drowning me underwater. The coach had to come and grab him off me. And I was just laughing the whole time because it didn't matter that he beat me up. But it was like that moment where I got you, and it was one of the most vivid memories of my sporting career, which is pretty cool.
That is amazing. I'm highly compelled by this. And when I said it, it's not only my theory. I'm pretty certain I've read somewhere about this idea that most of the world's fastest athletes are the younger siblings.
I believe it's true. Yeah. That and January babies, I think, are supposed to be really good athletes.
Interesting.
I think they're the oldest in their class.
Well, to make this more of a little synchronous thread, my youngest brother, Nathaniel, he broke out of swimming his freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And he became a state champ in the 50-yard freestyle.
In Colorado or?
Georgia.
In Georgia.
Yeah. And then he started getting recruited to swim almost at every school. But there's not much scholarship money like at UC Berkeley and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And at UT Austin. So he ended up going to UGA because, the scholarship money, how it's like, mostly at this point, allegedly the swimmers had very little scholarship money compared to like the football team.
Yeah, especially the men's teams.
And they had like Olympic athletes at Berkeley, so they're all the dollars were going to them. They didn't have much money to give to an upcoming star.
Yeah, it doesn't go far down the line.
Yeah, but he was really freaking fast. And still is. I still think he could like go out there and compete in the sprints of 50-yard and the 100-yard butterfly.
The glory races. I was a distance swimmer.
Yeah, because I was wondering if it was always endurance for.
Yeah. So my not Thomas, but my other brother Matthew, who's 11 months older than me. He was a 100-yard fly state champion in Massachusetts. Same thing, like really good at those, the glory events as I call them. The events people want to watch. But I had if you're not good at any of the other strokes or you're not good at sprinting, they put you in the distance lane, and they put me in the distance lane, and that was my future.
Wow. And what were you doing in distance when we were swimming?
1650 free. Yeah. Anywhere from the 500 to the 1000, 1650 or meters, 400, 800, 1500 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of interesting. It's like we're like enantiomers of each other.
Did you guys all swim?
Yeah. So I was very much into baseball.
Okay.
But I could do both. So I actually, what happened when I started swimming, same thing, I think it was sophomore year, the coach tried to convince my parents that I could like go to the Olympics if I went all in on this. Cause I did qualify for states in that medley, or not the medley, in a relay race. And I was pretty freaking fast in the 50 free without training for the relative little training I had. And, maybe my brother had the same mentality you did. Because he actually, we were playing baseball. The 2 older brothers were playing baseball, and he looked like he was going to be the best baseball player out of all of us, out of nowhere. He got in a go-kart accident where he crushed his elbow.
Oh, no.
And then he became an amazing drummer. He just got, because that's all he could really do at this time. And then one day something happened about swimming, and it turned out he's a little longer and stronger than all of us already, like relatively. And then he got into the pool. And this guy was a shark. He broke the state record, I think, that was like held in Georgia for like 11 years for the 50-yard freestyle.
That's awesome.
And he swam at UGA for a semester, but he thought the program was so endurance oriented that he was becoming worse, and he started hating his life. Like, and he couldn't tell if it was because he was around a bunch of kids that were like partying and waking up at 5 a.m. to swim all morning. He wasn't sure what was going on, but he hated it.
Yeah.
And he also hated the idea that he thought he was becoming a worse swimmer because the way the program was focused. Yeah. So he just dropped out of college then.
When was this?
Oh man. So he's probably like, I think he's probably 33 now.
Okay.
So probably 10 years prior to.
So he was probably on the tail end of that kind of old school mentality of coaching. And our head coach at Navy was the same way. Like, if you were a sprinter, you didn't really want to be doing a lot of the sessions. I mean, the first right back off of, when you're at the academies, you do your summer's broken up into 3 blocks. 2 of them are doing Navy training. So you're not really in the pool. Wow. And the first setback was like 30 or 40 200s long course meters, like the first practice back. And he just grind them down. But now like the sprinters, they're so specific and they're barely swimming. It's all about the strength of your start and your turn.
This was his belief.
Yeah. And he's totally right. You look at the way those guys train now, and they're way faster now. Right. I mean, everybody's breaking 20 seconds in a 50 short course yards, 50 free.
Yeah. They're not even breathing. It's like such a cool. I love the race because like you don't have to breathe.
Yeah,
it's like a 1 breath race.
Yeah, I wish I could have done that, man.
Well, it's an interesting thing, like the fast twitch versus. I don't know if you do like how do you classify someone? Is it white muscle fibers?
Yeah, versus... I don't know my ratio, but I'm definitely a slow twitch guy. Yeah. And even like my triathlon career, I started in Olympic distance racing. I was on the national team. I was trying to go to the Olympics, and that's a 2-hour race. It's a 1,500 meter swim, 40K bike, and 10K run. Okay. And even that, I knew my future was an Ironman. I knew I was kind of that. I wasn't a thoroughbred. I was more of a workhorse, a Clydesdale. So
my last name is Eisenman, which means Iron Man.
I didn't know that
in German. Just to make it weirder.
Germans love triathlon too, by the way. They love that sport is huge in Germany.
So I've put myself in the category of a fast twitcher because I'm not sure if I'm victimizing myself to a belief, but when I think about it, does anyone ever win the longest race and the shortest race in the Olympics, whether it's swimming or running? Has that ever been done? It just doesn't seem like it's done.
No.
It's done.
Yeah.
So do you what's your belief? Is this a genetic, what is this what we're born into? Should we just own what we are?
I don't know. I vaguely recall someone telling me or reading that you can switch one of the ways between fast and slow, but you can't switch the other way.
Okay.
So maybe you can convert fast to slow, but you can't convert slow to fast.
That would make sense.
So I think there is definitely a genetic component to that for sure.
Yeah, it's just to me it seems like because I'm a real big believer that our beliefs can shape our reality in a lot of ways, but this one seems to be like this might be something we want to own. Like if you're a fast twitch athlete, maybe focus there. Yeah. And I look at my dogs too. Like I have 2 pit bulls. They're extremely fast twitch, but they're not going to outrun a long race. Right. Like I could outrun them in a long race.
Yeah, we have a French bulldog. And he can go pretty fast. He can hit 50 or 60 miles an hour, but then he's just lies down. He just literally lies down.
You said 50 or 60?
No, 15 or 16 miles an hour. No, yeah. What kind of who's your breeder?
Oh man. Well, what is this is the first time we're meeting, and I could probably ask so many personal questions, but I am curious, what's most relevant to you right now in your world that you want people to know about?
Yeah, really, it's sharing my story as I transition from racing, and as I've transitioned, I've gotten into high impact speaking.
High impact speaking.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I'm focused on. That's my passion, and it all stems back from the heart issue that I had in 2021 and how that changed my life and my career and how I've moved on from that. And
what happened with the heart issue in 2021?
So in 2021, I had a widowmaker heart attack during a race.
Whoa.
And
wow.
I finished the race, kept going. I was towards the front of the pack and right in the mix. And I started getting those classic feelings, the spreading pain across your chest, the shooting pain down your left arm and jaw. And I looked down at my Garmin and I'm going almost 30 miles an hour and thought, there's no way you're having a heart attack right now. Just suck it up and, keep fighting, keep racing. And I did that. And I did the run and it just get worse and worse after I finished the race. And they rushed me to the hospital and troponin was through the roof. And they finally, a couple hours after I've been there, figured out what's going on, that I had a complete block of my LAD, 12% survival rate on that particular heart attack. And things got real at that point.
How old were you at that point?
I was 40.
Wow. Yeah. Gosh, Lee.
So, the comeback from that, like that path back, trying to get back to the Ironman World Championship. And then, of course, the idea that fitness isn't health. Those are the two things I'm really trying to share with the world.
The fitness isn't
health. Yeah.
Man, okay. So I'm excited to be learning about this story with you. So you were in the midst of your career, in the midst of a race, had a heart attack, and finished the race.
Yep.
That part I'm trying to understand.
Yeah. So I'll rewind a little bit too. 2019 at the Ironman World Championship. I started the Ironman World Championships which is in Kona, Hawaii.
I love Big Island. I love
awesome,
Big Island.
Man. It is so good. I love it. It's magical.
Yeah.
It's absolutely magical. So in 2019, I had my best performance there, runner up, first American to ever break 8 hours on that course. The race of my career at 39 years of age. So I was really on the top of, I was at the top of my game, top of the world, so to speak. And, obviously COVID came and slowed things down, but that race in 2021 was my chance to race those guys that, I had towed line with in Kona and try to beat the champ, Jan. So it's kind of really, it felt like my career was kind of culminating, and then it shifted gears quickly.
Man, it's like a little scary to even talk about.
Yeah,
because it's like it's shocking that someone at that peak of their fitness career that just happens out of nowhere.
Yeah, so
that could happen.
It could have, yeah, and you hear about it. If you're paying attention, if your eyes and ears are open, it's not uncommon. It's not frequent, but there are a lot of cases of, guys my age that are in great fitness that either, for their own shortcomings or their doctor, their primary care, whoever they are, they don't catch it. And even me, I earlier the year prior, I've been having signs and symptoms of an issue, and I went.
You did?
I went to the hospital here in Boulder and ran.
What were the signs that you were having?
I was just kind of that tightness, like in breathing, like fluttering of the heart, palpitations, things like that. And so I talked to my primary care. He's like, you don't want to hear this, but you got to go see a cardiologist, because when you're in it, you're trying to train and you're so focused on your racing. That's all. You don't want something to get in the way of that, even if it's your health. And you kind of have the blinders on.
Yeah.
But I went and they ran tests and they said, oh no, there's some calcified plaque, but it's not that much. You're fit, you're healthy. They didn't think too much of it.
Mm-hmm. This was prior to this happening.
Prior, yeah.
Wow. Knowing what you know about this now, what do you think? There's like a test or something you recommend, or what do you recommend for
100%? I recommend the Clearly scan. Clearly, yes, CLEERLY.
Okay.
And it's a CT angiogram basically with contrast. And the great thing about it is you can identify the different types of plaque. So the unstable plaque, that's what ruptures and clogs your artery instantaneously and shuts your lights off. The calcified plaque is what builds up over time. It slows down blood flow, but can be monitored and can be dealt with. And with the Clearly scan, you're not just getting a calcium score. You're actually seeing what's the the makeup of the plaque inside my arteries, if there's any. And then you're also seeing with the AI algorithms that they have, you're getting a predictive model on your chances of either having an event, a cardiac event, or in my case, having another. So that was really what helped me get back to racing after the fact. It gave me the confidence to get back at it, because I could see the information. The further away you are from the information, the harder it is to really grasp, to get a hold of. And I had to put myself in it. I had honestly, with the help of, I don't know if you know Dr. Dave Tusek at Cloud Medical.
I do. I appreciate him because I loved interviewing him.
Oh, you had him on the show?
Yep.
Yep.
And I got an order today where someone for our tribe vitamins, where it seems he's recommending the bison liver plus heart to patients. I just love that. I love that. He's a pretty dialed in guy.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
See, I actually called him when I was having my heart attack. And
in the race?
After the race. After the race. And this is late at night on a weekend, and he picked up and said, "Hey, Tio, what's up?" And, told him what was happening. He said, "Take 2 aspirin and get to the hospital right now." So, I mean, imagine that. How many people can call their primary care doc and have them, that kind of support?
Man.
But with him, with his help, we were able to.
So you had not gone to the hospital before calling?
No, I was trying to go to the after race party.
All right. That's also just a little bit of a mind bomb. It's like someone can have a heart attack like that and then just keep functioning.
Yeah,
or
trying.
Are you just extremely rare, or what do you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do have one of the benefits of all the training was you get these ancillary vessels that pop off your arteries that kind of help move blood around blockages.
Okay.
But honestly, I think I'm just stubborn. I just like trying to. I'm like, no, I want to, you feel bad after a race. You don't feel good. You don't feel good during a race. And you try to shrug it off. But I realized it was getting to the point where like, this isn't normal post-race. This isn't normal post-race feeling. This is something different.
That's there's a lot of synchronicities throughout this conversation. Then you called Dr. David, and then you went to the hospital. Where in Kona?
No, this was in Miami. This race, it was on the Homestead Speedway, the NASCAR track.
Okay.
So the bike was like 17 laps around the track.
Wow.
And then the run, I don't know, however many was.
All within the stadium?
All within the
what's that event called?
It's called now it's called Clash Miami. At the time it was called Challenge Miami.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really fun race. Great venue.
And then what hospital did you go to? Do you remember?
So they took me to the Homestead Hospital because it's right down the street.
Okay.
It took me 90 minutes to get an IV. They lucky I didn't, I made it out of there, but they didn't have cardiac services. So they had to send me to Jackson South.
Yep, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
I once took my brother there. I was born in Miami, and I
took
my brother there once after a spider bite flying in from Panama. It was very clear he needed medical attention.
Wow, that's crazy.
Went to Jackson Memorial.
Yeah, a great cardiology department there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then what happens from there?
Well, I mean, if you go right into that moment, it took a little while for the team to come in, and the cardiologist put the biggest stent they had in. They sucked out all the,
So it is a procedure.
Yeah, they brought me in. They said, "Tim, we think you're dehydrated. This will be real quick. We just want to check." And then it was not quick. Like you could feel them moving around inside your chest. It was really weird. But yeah, the doc said, "You're going to be okay. We put the largest stent we have inside your chest, and you're going to need to find a new career." Literally the first thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the logistics of that, they were going to check you out, and then they said we're going to do a surgery on you now.
Yeah. They said we're going to bring you to the cath lab.
And what's that surgery called? My mom used to work in cardiac surgery.
Yeah, I believe it's just an angiogram. Yeah.
Okay.
They basically put a catheter in your. They go through your arm or through your thigh.
Wow. And where was your family during this time?
I was solo. My middle son Finn was 8 weeks old at the time.
Oh my gracious.
And so my wife Rennie, who by the way is 3-time Ironman world champion, like she's a legend. What's that? Rennie Miranda Carfrey.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a legend in the sport.
Okay.
She was at home with our daughter Isabel and little 8-week-old Finn. And that's where I'm running. I'm in the run. I'm having a heart attack. I'm running as hard as I can. I don't feel like I'm moving anywhere. But I was in 11th place. I was in like 5th or 6th, and then I started to get like loose, my kind where I was, and I just got off the bike. I thought I was done the ride, and I still had another lap to go. So a bunch of guys passed me, got back on the bike in 11th, and I held my position. But I was trying to get top 10 because that's the money goes. They pay top 10.
Okay.
And I got an 8-week-old baby.
Okay.
I left my wife and 2 kids at home. And
wow.
They bring home a paycheck, bud. And I was so mad at myself. I crossed that line.
What place were you?
I was 11th.
Yeah. Wow. And how much money does 10th place pay?
I don't remember. It's not much. Yeah. In triathlon, you make your money off of your partners, your sponsors, and then the big races. The big races have bigger prize money.
What an event. Did you like call your wife during that time? Like, I guess they're going to put a stent in me.
Yeah, I called her. She actually told me to call Dave. So I called her, and she could tell I wasn't feeling right. And so she had me call Dave. And then I called her after the fact at the recovery room. Just kind of, lying there by herself, just trying to process what just happened.
Wow. Was she here in Boulder?
She was here in Boulder, yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That's a crazy story.
Yeah. So. And
then from there, you started competing again.
I did. I made the decision. Well, I made it with my wife, Rennie. I wanted, my reasons were different. I was no longer trying to win the world championship, but I didn't want that to be the end of my story in the sport. And so I found myself, I chatted with Rennie, and she said, okay, if you find the best cardiologist in the world and they say it's okay, that you're not going to cause more damage or put yourself in your life at risk, then go for it. And I did that. I flew out to Boston, went to Mass General, saw Dr. Aaron Bagish, ran a bunch of tests, and he said, Tim, your heart's strong, the stent is strong. I was really lucky too. My scar tissue was minimal for how long. I mean, I was under blockage for like 9 hours or something crazy, and my scar tissue was really minimal. And you think about how a heart pumps, it kind of almost rings as part of the pumping motion. And if you got scar tissue, that whole motion gets disrupted and makes it hard to pump blood through your body. It makes it hard to do an Ironman, at least to do one well. And but luckily that scar tissue was minimum. And he said, Tim, the only thing holding you back is yourself.
Wow. Shout out to that cardiologist. Yeah. What was his name again?
Dr. Aaron Bagish.
And then what was the person in Jackson Memorial? Do you know that doctor's name?
I can't remember his name.
Because they sound like they did a good job.
Did a great job. Yeah. I mean, his bedside manner could have been better, but he did a great job. He was a great doctor.
My mom was like, because I took the MCATs. I was pre-med in medical school, and she was so wanting me to become a cardiac surgeon because she thought these guys were like the heroes.
Yeah.
And she would talk about all their different personalities, and wow, that's an amazing story. The book does sound like it's up your alley.
Yeah,
Fitnessing for Life. So what's the difference now? Now, like when how you train versus then. And I kind of am curious, once the cardiologist gave you that go ahead, you went full on in competition, a different attitude?
A 100% different attitude. I wouldn't say full on. It took me the mental piece took a long time. I didn't want to go out and ride or run by myself out of fear of something happening. Mm-hmm. You're constantly questioning, should I be doing this? Why am I doing this? Is this good for me? And so you have to work.
What was your answers to those? Like, why were you doing this?
So I could keep sharing this story. Yeah. And I mean, I built my career on resilience, and, the first world championship I went to, I dropped out, and I looked at myself in the mirror on that day. That night I went back to my hotel room, and I just stared at myself in the mirror for, 10 or 15 minutes. And I said, you're never going to drop out of a race again. And I made that pact with myself. And I should have put a little caveat, unless there's a major medical emergency happening.
You stuck to it.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting caveat, because I once had a prayer in a mirror it definitely changed the
Yeah.
course of my life. And it was a commitment
Yeah.
of sorts.
Well, when you take the options off the table, what else is there? You know, that's commitment, right? Commitment is taking the other options off the table.
So, and that's that. But that's a fascinating topic. How like you took that to the edge. That
Yeah.
commitment to the
Yeah.
edge.
In hindsight, not the best idea. But yeah, I mean, I love the sport. It is a big part of who I am, my identity. But I really wanted to complete my chapter of life there, and I felt like that was, if it wasn't going to be detrimental, that's the way I wanted it to kind of finish. And I had a solid race. Wasn't in great shape. It was a clearly scanned that summer. Kona's in October. So the summer of 22, I did the clearly scan, and then I went full on. But until then, I was like, the trepidation was real. And so I wish I'd done that 6 months earlier. So I wasn't in the best shape. Still a top American one more time at 42 years of age after a heart attack. I think I had my second or third fastest time ever at that race. But coming down that finish line, it was the greatest. That was the greatest finish line I've had at that, despite the podiums and you know, amazing performances. Just sharing that, celebrating the sport, celebrating being there, celebrating the people that helped me get there. The entire sport, it was a celebration, and I'm so glad I did it. You know, results aside, it was, you know, something bigger at that point.
And that was in Kona. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah. Wow. Now, I would be remiss not to ask, because I've interviewed cardiologists on this show before. And if I'm doing the dates right, this may have been the time when all the vaccine things were happening.
100%.
Is there any correlation, or do you have any connection with any of this?
So it's interesting you say that, because I went on Rich Roll's podcast.
Oh, man.
Probably 2023. We talked about this.
Okay. And
there were so many comments on his. Oh, yeah, Tim was vaccinated and he got the shot. And people that I know and love were texting me like, hey, here's this, like the detox programs and stuff. And I'm unvaccinated. I didn't, I knew luckily my wife and her family are very forward in all of this stuff. And before the world knew, we were part of the group that knew it already, you know? And so I personally, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a cardiologist, but I do think it was COVID related.
What happened with you?
I think you have the plaque. The plaque was there, but I do think the rupture of the inner lining of the artery, the endothelial damage, I think that was caused by an inflammation. So
of actually like catching COVID.
So we came back from Australia. My wife's from Australia. We would go there every year to train.
Which part of Australia?
She's from Brisbane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Side note.
It's gorgeous. I love that place.
I love Byron Bay a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We vacationed there last time we were there. So cool. Have you been up to Sunshine Coast?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I got stuck in Byron Bay.
Yeah.
I surf and I got a little stuck there.
Awesome, yeah. Yeah, you couldn't go.
Yeah, I was like, well, I was wanting to go to New Zealand and everything. I was like, I'm good here.
Well, that's where all like Jack Johnson and Ben Harper and all those guys, they all just hang out there and surf too.
In Byron Bay?
Yeah, Byron Bay.
It's funny you say Ben Harper. He's like my. Both of those guys are just heroes of mine, but especially Ben Harper as a musician.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. Did you happen to see him play at the Mackey Theater like a few years ago?
A couple years ago. Was it the blues or jazz?
Yeah, the Blues Bird Fest.
Yes, yeah, Bluebird.
You were there at that?
Yeah, my wife and I were there. Yeah,
I went there. I cried my eyes out during that show.
Yeah,
something hit me.
So good.
That guy is so full of like channeling real emotions.
Yeah,
I just got. I was like, walked in. I'm like, oh, it's like a sit down show. And I'm like, wow. And he's sitting down. At first I had I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah. You're like, wait a minute.
Like 10 minutes later, I'm like bawling my eyes out. I'm like, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Dude, our wedding, our first dance was Forever.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
He's awesome.
Okay. All right. So
we were coming back from Australia of like end of February 2020.
Okay.
So COVID was about to hit hard in the US. It was already more prevalent in Australia.
Okay. Yeah.
And, we were in customs in San Fran or LA, and there's all the flights from Asia are landing with it. We're all there like a sardine can. We hear people are hacking all over the place, and my wife and I are like, oh, no. And like 3 days later, we were down and out. We were in bed for a couple days, and we were like, oh, we got sick, and we didn't have any idea about long COVID or myocarditis, right? So after being in bed for like 3 or 4 days, what do? You get back up and you get right back into training. And I remember like doing a flip turn in the pool and starting getting these like fluttering in my chest. And then all of a sudden it was hard to hold my breath on my push-offs the wall. Like I was like struggling to get to the flags. And it followed me through the year until I finally, the back half of that year, went and ran all those tests. But I honestly think, obviously the plaque is there, it's going to rupture at some point, but I do think that inflammation might have kind of triggered something.
And I also imagine that your fitness level had something to do with you not only being able to finish the race, but be here.
100%. Yeah. So there is some belief that a lot of endurance training can cause plaque buildup specifically in the LAD. There hasn't been enough data to really correlate it, I guess, or I should say have it as a cause. But there is some data pointing to the fact that endurance training might create that plaque. But on the flip side, my fitness helped me move blood around the block. So, wow, it's a big part of it. Yeah.
It reminds me, my youngest brother, at the peak of his fitness level too, in swimming, probably endurance wise, especially, he had a surgery done on his sternum. He had like a huge dip in his chest. I'm not sure if you've ever seen this.
Oh yeah, we had a guy on my swim team in high school that had one of those.
I'm like, have you heard of Marfans? There's like a thing where you're like a long athlete, and like Michael Phelps, he is like a classic build of someone that has Marfans. It's like longer arms, and they're like more prone to a certain heart condition. And I don't know if it has any correlation with this dip in their chest, but he got this thing fixed, and it was supposed to be a pretty simple thing. Yeah. And my mom, as I mentioned, she was like a nurse in cardiac surgery for a long time. And when we were visiting him in his recovery, my mom, man, she went into that mama bear mode, and like, there was something wrong, and there was something wrong with the inflammation in his body, and something wrong with the way he was speaking. But he was still functioning and everything and talking to us, but my mom knew something was off. And she was like, oh yeah, we need to do a test on him. There's like something weird, like we need to do a hemoglobin test or something. There's something strange going on. They're like, no, it's just very normal. He's functioning fine. And my mom got real into beast mode and forced them to do this test. Next thing we know, like all the major surgeons are rushing him to the ICU because allegedly he's bleeding out internally. Like one of the things was open, the internal sutures.
Are you serious?
And the thing was, no one, they were saying there's no other person could have been functioning like your son was. Like, what kind of athlete is this kid? And we were at that time, we were all doing, and he was really a shark at like holding our breaths and swimming. Yeah. And it's like kind of that, like that almost like a juxtaposition. It's like being that in shape, how it has a little danger to it in these type of situations. Yeah. Because only my mom, like there's a kind of theory, if my mom didn't force that test, he may have died like an hour later. He was like literally bleeding out. He had no hemoglobin. And it almost sounds like you like wanting to go to that party after having a heart attack.
No joke. We're like at we're at the guy that owns the race. He had one of those really fancy RV trailers on the racetrack. Okay. He had like a Macallan 25 like last week sitting by me, and I'm like lying down inside of his like the camper. Like, I can't drink it, Bill. Wow. I should have. It's a blood thinner, right?
Wow. Yeah, that is interesting how the 2 aspirin thing was. I mean, that just seems like advice across the boards in that situation.
Yeah. There are simple things, and going back to our conversation earlier about, what do you want to do and being able to impact people outside of the sport. I mean, in these past several years, I continually get people reaching out, thanking me for helping them notice the signs and symptoms and be aware, and a reminder that, you know, a lot of fit guys think they're impervious, right? But just because you're fit, you're not impervious to things in life that happen, and being able to, you know, have a positive impact on others, and you know, whether it's intervention or whatnot, it's been awesome.
Yeah. How are you doing that? It's like when you say high impact speaking, are you doing speaking currently?
Yep. Mainly, I speak more, not the heart attack piece is a big part of it, but it's more of redefining the champion, and, you know, helping people understand it's the mindset. It's not the medals you earn, and that whole process, you know, I have a built forward process, as I call it, and sharing that process with them. It's yeah.
Are you coaching people through
We
this
do.
as well?
We have a triathlon coaching group. Yeah. Salty Bears Racing
Okay.
is our coaching group. Yeah. We have my wife and I lead it. We have a couple assistant coaches, and it's a great way for us to you know, stay connected to the sport.
I have some preloaded popcorn questions for you that
Okay.
I think they'll be like, they're kind of meant to be answered like in a minute or
Yeah.
so. But how do people follow this ongoing journey and story of yours? Like, what's the best way to follow you and or reach out to you?
Yeah. Instagram. It's
Instagram,
definitely
awesome.
the best way, or LinkedIn.
All right, we'll put the links to that in the description. But is it Tim O'Donnell? Is that?
Yeah. T-O. If you search my name, you'll find it, but T-O and try.
Okay.
I was trying to be creative, and people are like, Tony? Like, what?
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No points for
All right.
creativity on Instagram handles. Just use your name.
All right, here we go. These are fun. I kind of like and I think these are good. All right. What's the moment in your career that looked like success but actually almost broke you?
Oh man, that's a good question. No one has ever asked me that. Probably my first podium at the World Championships, because when you get on the podium, you either get too confident because you think you're almost there, or you get so anxious to get there to the top that you overtrain. So, like, being able to figure that out after that first podium, and to, you know, not get broken from either one of those options.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's like good. This is his idea. Get these in a minute or less. That was a good answer. What do amateurs obsess over that elite athletes mostly ignore?
Everything. I mean, it's crazy. You look at the best guys in the world right now. They're eating pizza. I mean, they're young. They train hard. They have coaches that do a lot of the data for them, but they just train hard and have a good time. Whereas a lot of the age group athletes, who I love and I want to help, they can get caught up in the details too much. You know, they get the little 1%. Yes, you need to focus on those, but it's not going to trump just consistent training. Consistent training with a plan. Like, start there, nail that, and then worry about the other details.
You're reminding me of a conversation. We've got the honor to interview Laird Hamilton a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Not for the podcast, but for my YouTube channel I did with my brothers called Raw Bras. And I remember him saying something so similar, was like, people were at this event and they kept like asking him about, oh, you eat that? Oh, you do this? You do. He's like, hey, I don't worry about the things I do every once in a while. He's like, you know what though? I'll tell you, my pillow is the best pillow in the world.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the things I do every day.
Yeah.
And it was just like such like a childish. I kind of give him like the honor of one of the oldest children that I know, and I'm trying to be that too.
Yeah.
So it's like an ultimate compliment.
Well, I mean, like, my wife is the same thing. Like, people ask her, like, oh, recovery, like, do you spend like 8 hours doing this, or, you know, like all these things? She's like, well, how's your sleep? And like, don't sacrifice your sleep to get in recovery boots or whatever. Sleep.
Yep, it's funny too. You're reminding. I remember him saying. Now I'm not having a whole reminiscence of this conversation. I remember someone asking him about sleep, and he had the funniest answer. He's like, "Oh no, I don't." He's like, "I don't believe in sleep problems." He's like, "If I play hard enough, I go to sleep."
Yeah.
If you're just not playing hard enough. That was like he had this another
point.
I know. Then y'all are probably into this like rare category of people that are overtraining. Like know people that are overtrained.
Oh, yeah.
That's a rare.
That's a big part of our sport, and it's a big problem too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. What did becoming a father immediately make you better at?
Time management for sure. It made me really be able to focus on priorities. Yeah, and my wife and I were 2017 when Isabel was born. We were both burnt on the edge of being burnt out. You know, we'd done a lot in the sport already. You know, we've been racing a long time, and we just had this kind of reset, and we said, you know what, we're going to make 2018. We're going to make this year about experiences together as a family, and we flew everywhere. We flew around the world with that little baby.
Oh,
and
nice.
It was our favorite year of racing, and it you know, you're to stay on top of something, to be your best, you need a why, right? But a lot of people get stuck on a why that may not be their why anymore. Mm-hmm. So that ability to shift your why, recognize it, and then let that fuel you, that was probably, you know, other than having Isabel, that was one of the greatest things to come out of becoming a father.
Now that makes me want to ask, out of all places you've traveled, where do you think the healthiest place is?
Oh man, that's a good question. Not Australia. They're kind of like little America in terms of food quality and things like that.
Australia's are crazy.
Oh man, I don't want to pinpoint a place, but I feel like the simpler the place is, the better. You know, like I'm imagining like Thailand, like getting food made on from a hut on the beach, like calamari's coming out. You know, like everything's, you're close to the source. Simple. Yeah,
that's a good imagination. My mouth started watering. Okay. Oh wow, I see my thing got lost. I was about to ask you a disc golfing question, but that was like skipped my interview.
I won't have a good answer, but let's throw it in there.
All right. If someone's having like a problem with discipline, what actually keeps you showing up?
Yeah, it's a choice. I don't think there's a magic answer. I mean, you just have to be willing to make the choice. It's little choices. And we get that all the time with our athletes too, by the way, and just like the age group athletes in general. Like, why do you get out of bed, or like how do you get out of bed when the alarm goes off? Because you make the choice to get out of bed. You know, remember diving in the pool when you were a kid? Like, that was the hardest part of the session, right? Like,
now I must like live for that. I live right next to the creek. I just like so understand the benefits of exhilarating myself with cold, fresh water.
Oh my, yeah. But as a kid, you're like, what am I? Yeah, you got to dive in.
Yeah.
But once you do, you're fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you forget about it and you move on and you have a great set. That little choice to dive in.
My brother, to keep bringing him into this conversation, when he's kind of like, he had a career-ending question at one point, and it was like, why is he dedicating this much time to swim across the pool like a millisecond faster than anyone else? And no one had an answer for him, and he didn't. And that's kind of when he started shifting his interest.
Yeah.
Because like that, it's a risk. Like that 50 yard, especially, or the 100 yards, is a kind of a risky thing. Like someone could be a better racer and just slip a little bit on the board or whatever. Yeah.
No, I was watching Lindsey Vonn was one of the races she just did was on at the gym yesterday, and you're looking at the time differentials between all of them, like the entire field, and like they're all so close. And it's just like, what's the 0.3 of a second difference? I don't know. I don't know the sport that well, but like it's super fascinating.
It is. Lots of good questions here. Here's another one. What's a training belief that you held for years that you now think was wrong?
More is better. I made my career off of training more, and the idea of that I was training harder than everybody else, that really fueled me. And then YouTube came out. And then you got guys like Lionel Sanders, who you can go and watch him train, and he's literally in tears. He's hurting himself so much. He's training so hard. He's on the trainer crying and yelling. And you're like, I am not training that hard, but I can still beat him. So I had that mindset shift of, you know what? It's not about like, if you pride yourself on just like working harder, there's always someone working harder. You just don't know it. So it had to be like, okay, well, I know I'm already on par or better. And if I just keep doing my thing, it's going to stay that way.
Awesome. All right.
By the way, you should go look up Lionel Sanders.
You made me want to.
Yeah. It's like some of his videos it's hilarious, but he is, man. He's
What do you think about like the whole David Goggins and that mentality?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if I know many people. I get very entertained by listening to David Goggins and such, I think people are concerned about the mentality, but I don't know many people taking his mentality on.
Yeah, I mean, I think
that extreme.
He's done some crazy stuff. Yeah. I was special operations. He was special warfare. We were both stationed on the other side of Coronado, like each side of the base. So I would be like riding into work, and he'd be like running. He would run like 20 miles each way. Like, so I would see him all the time. We were always going the other way. But I mean, I don't need training. Like anything in excess is like, doing hard things. If it's something that you always do, is it hard? Like it's hard for you or me. But is that the hard thing for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like him taking a break might be the hardest thing for him.
Right.
Right. Being lazy for like a month, it might be like
that's
torture.
A hard thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be a hard thing. That's all how it's framed, I guess.
All right. What's the quiet cost of being world class that no one warns you about?
Oh man, quiet cost. Losing your identity. And I've seen it a lot over the years. Athletes lose their identity. Their identity becomes their medal or their record. And at some point, we all got to hang up the sneakers in terms of racing professionally. And where do you go from there if that's your identity? So, yeah.
Okay. If your kids only learned one lesson from your career, what would you hope it is?
Don't give up the ship. Just keep going. I mean, my family still shakes their head how I became a professional athlete. I was the joke of the family, uncoordinated, not, unathletic, but I showed up every day with a goal and with a willingness to enjoy the journey, which is a big part.
A willingness to enjoy the journey. A willingness to enjoy the journey. That's an interesting way to say that.
Yeah.
Can you want to say more about that? Because most people would say, the journey is the destination.
No,
you're saying show up with a willingness to enjoy the journey.
So when you're chasing something, it's easy to lose sight of everything else. And at the end of the day, I have a lot, I know a lot of my competitors, like they want to win, but they hate losing more. And then that puts them in this place of, and it's not a healthy place in my opinion. So you got to be willing to also enjoy the journey.
I wonder if that's what was my downfall for my baseball career. Not saying it's like a bad thing, because I think that opened up so many things, but I probably hated striking out or like making an error.
Yeah.
I probably hated making an error more than hitting a home run.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was freaking tough.
Yep.
It was a freaking tough sport. Then.
Yeah. You would, the low is worse than that, like high, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And it was more common. The lows were, home runs were epic.
Yeah.
The strikeouts were probably a little more common.
Yeah.
And that, I think I have a higher mental fortitude for the sport of baseball now.
Yeah.
But at that time in my life, I was really shook by it, like the anxiety of
I just don't want to strike out.
Anyways. Wow.
Do you think that made you strike out more or less?
I don't think it had much of an effect on it.
Yeah.
It was just like a mental game I would play on myself before and after the games. And there's like a few days, like leading up to the games, I would have like kind of be struggling about like the anxiety of like potentially messing up versus I loved doing great. I was a great baseball player and I was always great, but I was probably like leading up to the game, I was more concerned about the potential errors.
Yeah. You'd have races where you were the favorite, and that was the same thing. You're like, all I can do is lose. You know, like everybody expects me to win. All I can really do is lose.
All right. Here's a very on-brand question from our conversation. What's harder, pushing your body past its limits or knowing when to stop?
Knowing when to stop. Yeah. And, you know, there's points. I tell you, as the more you push your body to the limits or beyond them, you know, it gets harder and harder to do that, for sure. So it's probably like, they're probably like inverse, like when you're younger versus when you're older. You know, as you're older, more mature, it's easier to know when to stop. Yeah, it's harder to push your body.
It's like one of those questions where the question is the answer.
Right.
All right. When motivation disappears mid-race or mid-life, what actually takes over?
When motivation disappears, the why has to take over. And it has to be a good why. Right? I mean, I've never, motivation is an interesting thing because people really see it as like this like rah thing, but it's, I don't know. I see it as more like utilitarian. Like it's just, what's your why, and you know, how you get there.
What's your why?
Now it's to impact others, to share this story and impact others beyond our sport. And there's always the family too, you know, my wife and I struggle because our kids didn't get to see us, particularly her, at our heights in the sport. And so now you wonder, like, you want them to know you're working towards something, and that life isn't just like hanging out. So, you know, we want them to see how, you know, how we live through life too.
All right. And finally, if someone is listening, chasing a big goal and feels behind, what would you tell them?
Feels behind. Oh man. What does feel like, how is that going to help you move forward? Right? Like focusing on that feeling versus focusing on what can I be doing right now to keep moving towards that goal. I'd say that's it. And, you know, if I look at an Ironman, if I'm thinking about the run when I have, you know, another 80 miles to go on the bike, that's almost too much to handle. But if I'm thinking about my cycling cadence and I'm thinking about what I need to do in that moment to eventually get me to my goal, it becomes more tangible and it's easy to get your head around. So just focusing on the small parts instead of focusing on, I'm feeling like I'm behind, so now I'm not going to do anything to move me forward.
That's a subtle and very important shift that could be carried over to so many life metaphors. Appreciate you for all the whole thing here today. I got some gifts for you. If you want
sweet.
Did you use some of this stuff? This is the best tallow balm that I know of.
Man, I'll give it a try.
That's great for the skin. I know you're out in the elements as well, especially here in Boulder.
So what's tell me the best way to use this?
I put it all right. If you're going to use it, like you want to make that last as long as possible, then I would put it under my face at night before going to sleep. Okay. But I personally cake it all over myself, especially if it's sunny. I'll use it almost as like someone who uses sunscreen. I would use it as someone who would use deodorant. I would use it as someone who uses hair gel. I would use it the same way as someone who would use a beard oil. I just use it everywhere. I feel my skin eats it.
That's amazing. Thank you.
And for a little more performance stuff, have you ever used either one of these products, and would you be interested in using them?
Yeah, I'd love to try them.
That is Pure Bison Testicles.
Definitely haven't tried that yet. And
this is Pure Elk Velvet Antler. So you've seen probably an elk maybe with its velvety when it's velvet state. So we work with a supplier in Wisconsin that has a ranch and a herd, And when they're in that state, they clip them and then they freeze dry it raw. And this is something in like Chinese medicine that's been done for thousands of years with deer antler. But what I think you might be really, have you never used antler at all?
I've never used antler,
Oh,
no.
man. So it allegedly has IGF-1 in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's loaded with glucosamine.
Yeah.
I think it acts as like an aspirin / like a natural steroid. If this makes sense, like a growth factor of sorts. Right. And, those antlers are the fastest growing organic material in the world on an animal. And I like for instance, I played some pickleball the last few years, and I just feel like my joints are lubricated and I have more aggression and energy.
Yep. So are these daily?
I would do both of these like before a workout.
Okay.
Or a date.
All right.
Yeah, most of those effects, like some of our higher performing athletes, these are the ones they want. Yep. Like we have one of the fastest skiers in the world, and they want these two products.
Oh wow, awesome!
And I think it's something to do with what I'm saying, that effective joints and like this growth factor in the antler. And this is just food, so that's why I love this stuff. It's not, you have to be worried about side effects if you're using something pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
And then the bison testicle is like more of like a testosterone support. And I definitely feel both of those. And then this is awesome for the skin. So this is a great package for your next date.
That's amazing.
All three.
I'm naturally increasing my testosterone. It was like one of my goals this year.
Well, those two products I think would be very helpful. And if you are doing blood work and those are like jars I've been using. So they're kind of like half jars, but use the suggested dose before like a workout or something, or a date, like I said, and then let me know how it goes and maybe we can get you more.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Any questions for me? We're hitting that like we got 5 minutes.
No, this has been a lot of fun. Yeah, this has been really, really, really cool.
Well, it's great to meet another local legend that I have not. So thanks for Let's Do Podcast, like connecting us.
I know, yeah.
This is awesome, right? And you're not doing a podcast or a book or anything right now.
Well, I feel like
both of those are
no, I'm not. No, I do plan on writing a book, and I need to do it this year, but no podcast yet. I'll just be on great ones like this.
Fitnessing for life, where like when sometimes less is more.
Yeah. That might be the podcast name. Book podcast.
All right. Well, thank you, Tim.
Thank
you all.
Thank you so much.
Keep breaking normal.